Hey, you came back this week. Okay then, let's speak more geek. This is the Geek Speak Show. Get ready to speak geek. Featuring interviews with the movers and shakers in geek culture.
Hi, I'm Chris Hardwick.
I'm not a fact sheet.
Hey, this is Todd McFarlane.
I'm Zach Whedon.
Hi, this is Georges Genti.
The Geek Speak Show is powered by GeekTyrant.com, GameTyrant.com, MightyVille.com, RamaScreen.com, and ZergNet.com. Geek is spoken here.
They're listening. You're consuming. You're watching it with your ears.
Oh, just listen.
Here are the hosts of the Geek Speak Show, Henry San Miguel and Rachel Rossini.
Spoiler alert!
Okay, we gave you plenty of warning. We are going to talk that movie that just came out last weekend. Had a free comic book day. Who got free comics?
I think we all did, didn't we?
Well, I guess you're the only one. I didn't even get free comics. You guys can check out our coverage on our YouTube page, Flying Colors Comics. Where else are we going to be? The birthplace of free comic book day. Joe was out there. Everybody was out there. You did all your interviews.
I did.
A lot of, Rachel, you missed it, but there were a lot of Star Wars t-shirts. Joe was carrying a lightsaber.
Huge line, too.
A real lightsaber.
They were representing.
Yes, and there was a visit from a certain Dark Lord of the Sith. Besides me, I mean.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, stop.
Yeah, but thanks again to Flying Colors Comics, the Retail Brigade, Joe and Libby Field. Yes, the brownies were there, Rachel. And yes, they were good. We were going to send you one.
I didn't get my overnight package with brownies.
Well, it would have been empty anyway because Joel said, you know what? She's not here. She doesn't deserve it. I did all the work. Can we discuss how Joel, every other video after your first one was,
What?
It's so hot out here.
It is so hot out there. Oh, my God. It was like 90, 100, 1 million degrees, or I forget. But
I'm
it was
the one
hot.
that hates the heat, and you're the one complaining about it. But had a great
It
time.
affects me so badly.
Great time had by all until we all went to the theater, sat down, and watched Iron Man 3.
I know, that is the movie.
So again, like I said,
alert.
we gave you the spoiler alert. We are going to talk spoilers. By this point, you've all seen it a few times by now. Well, the people, our audience, you've seen it a few times by now. If you haven't, then you don't really care if we spoil it for you or not at this point. So
Just keep listening, actually.
who wants to take it first before I take my side?
Oh, you know what? We should just collaborate on this and everybody jump in because there's just so many things, and
Hop in.
going into it, I'm sure you guys heard like I did that, it was okay, or there wasn't anybody that was like raving about it. But when I sat down, I was like, no, let's just give this a chance. Let's not listen to what everybody's saying. And yeah.
It doesn't sound like Rachel likes it that much.
Well, I'll say the first thing is Iron Man 3, the movie, it couldn't have been made after the Avengers. Not because of the Avengers, but because of the Avengers. Because number one, Tony Stark is an Avenger.
Yep.
The middle of the movie where it kind of drags, okay, it does drag, where it drags in the middle and where he's literally dragging the supposedly the only
The
thing he has
story.
left.
I see what you mean.
Why didn't he call Thor for help? Hulk for help? We find out at the end. He's been
It's a
talking to him the whole
metaphor,
time.
dude. It's a metaphor. He's dragging his armor.
But I'm saying but that doesn't work anymore because he's an Avenger. He's not alone no matter what you try to say, no matter how dark or how this is the end of Tony's life. He's an Avenger.
Yeah, well, he always, I don't know, like that part too where he has like anxiety attacks because of what happened in New York. And then I was wondering to myself, because like in the comic books, I don't remember Tony Stark having anxiety. And I was wondering, like,
you know what that is?
That what?
This.
Producers or?
Nope, just missed opportunity. That could have easily led to this. Kevin Feige, take note. Trademark, what's the date today? May 8th, 2013. That could have easily led to, he's worried about it. He almost died up in space. So he builds an armor that can go into space. He goes up there.
Wait, I remember like
and runs into the Guardians of the Galaxy.
Oh, I see what you mean. Because I do remember I saw the pictures for like, I forget what Mark armor, like 38 or 39, but it was like the suborbital suit. And like, it was, they have pictures of it online and like in promo images, but then it wasn't in the movie, or maybe it wasn't. For me, my experience was like, I did IMAX, right? And I was like, I bought the tickets pretty late, so I was fourth row, bottom right corner.
Oh my
and like
God.
it's a huge screen and just like too close. And you would think like, hey, I paid like $21 for this ticket, but like, man, it's just like it's not worth it. My neck hurts. So like,
Yeah, when you go to IMAX, you got to be up on top, or it's not gonna work.
but why would you sell those tickets?
You had my Spider-Man 3 experience. I got to see Spider-Man 3, but I was like you up close, and I could hear Spider-Man somewhere on the screen, just couldn't find him. And we talked about this on the other
definitely.
day, and I said, I just got to go see Spider-Man 3 again. I mean, maybe the experience was just what ruined it for me.
I
Then
do need
went
to see Iron Man 3.
I saw it in
again.
regular. It wasn't the IMAX thing. It was the actual movie.
Yeah, I need to see like Iron Man 3 again. Maybe like when it's matinee time. Maybe I'll go after.
So you're going
this.
to
I don't know.
actually see everything?
Yeah, I want to see it 2D. I mean, just regular.
Well, I mean, sticking with Iron Man 3. I mean, that's another thing. Is not a missed opportunity, but like what? Because supposedly that's the only armor he has left. Then at the end, by the way, call all these Iron Man armors.
The whole movie is like it's this like prototype armor.
Yeah.
So it's like we want so much more, but we're not getting it.
And if that's supposed to be the prototype armor, which, by the way, as you said, lasted the whole movie, and then we go to the end, and he's got all these suits, and they're getting blown up by like little teeny tiny rockets.
Yeah, dude, that's true.
Ridiculous.
Maybe it's a strong missile.
And Joel and I teased it on the videos at Flying Colors because Joel had seen it by then, and a few people had seen it by then. We told some of the people in the interviews, don't spoil it. They know what it was, but off camera, we did talk about it.
Now we can talk about it now.
Let's talk about the Mandarin. You'll never see me coming.
For me, I compare like Iron Man to like the Batman franchise, like the Christopher Nolan one. And like for me, I always thought like Mandarin was like the Ra's al Ghul of like for Iron Man, And then when
Not so much.
I guess the twist is we all know that he's like some hired British actor by Justin Hammer. Wait, not Justin Hammer. What's the dude's name? Guy Pearce. There you go.
Guy Pearce.
It's Guy Pearce, right? Yeah.
The other thing, we're going to DC now, but how do you pronounce that name? Is it Ra's al Ghul, Ra's al Ghul?
Riz.
See, what's a good thing we're going to have Neil
Rod.
Adams, so because he created that character, so we'll ask him how do you say his name. I don't think even Liam Neeson knows how to.
For me,
he knows
like,
a lot of things, but I don't think he knows how to pronounce his own character's name. But back to Iron Man 3. That's the big thing, the Mandarin. The whole it's not like Paranormal Activity where half the things that are in the trailer aren't even in the movie, in the Paranormal Activity movies. Rachel wouldn't know because she loves those paranormal movies.
No.
But this one, could you even call it false advertising? Because we had Ben Kingsley there. I was excited about the fact that we were going to get him as the Mandarin. Then
it turns out it's a phony. He's a phony.
I mean, he's fine for the whole thing. Then all of a sudden you realize, wait a minute, it's Russell Brand who's the Mandarin behind all this time.
But then, like, how do you make the Mandarin into like an actual character, like in a movie? So
I'm glad you asked, Joel, because it's right in the beginning of the movie. In fact, it was there since Iron Man 1. What's behind them? The 10 rings. What comes on every time he hijacks the broadcast?
Oh, yes.
The 10 rings. As I said during the trivia contest at Flying Colors, who's the real comic book nerd here? But look at all those things behind him. That's what raises the Mandarin. None of that was tied in. They had Jensen in there who, that tied into Iron Man 1 when he said, we actually met one time in Burma.
Oh, yeah.
We did? Oh, yeah, okay. Now we know what he was talking about. But it would have been a better story. Again, Kevin Feige taking over, but it's too late now. It's already out. It would have been a better story if you would have tied it in back to Iron Man 1, where it was Killian behind all of that. Because the other thing also is the Guy Pearce character, Killian. Yeah. What was his point? I
thought he was going to be MODOK for some reason. I don't know. Like I'm thinking that like Iron Man 2 is going to relate more to Captain America, and Thor might be like more about Guardians of the Galaxy, but
well, that's the other thing also is, this is supposed to kick off Phase 2. I don't see anything that's going to tie it to Avengers 2.
I heard Gwyneth Paltrow was saying in an interview that like she doesn't even see an Iron Man 4 coming out.
Well, after this.
This was supposed to be the end of the individual Iron Man ones, but they didn't close it off for us. They just made like this, and then
he destroys all his armors. It's like, dude, you're gonna make some more, man. Like, quit telling Pepper Potts for now that you're.
He would have never done that. And then it was obvious that Pepper was gonna come back because she was like fire person, and it was ridiculous. And he wasn't even
Firestarter.
sad enough when she supposedly died. And then, oh my gosh, they're just.
I was watching
Frustrating.
Iron Man 2 last night not last night, but during the weekend on FX, and I was thinking to myself, hey, Iron Man 2 is pretty good, actually. You know, I haven't seen it in a while. And then I was like, you know, like, because Jon Favreau made parts 1 and 2, and then they got this new guy, Shane Black, who made part 3. I'm not familiar with his background
Right.
with the movies, but
Well, then you should have listened to Louise's Geek Movie Rewind when she talked about Kiss Kiss Bang Bang.
Yeah,
that
he
was
did
with
that
Robert
one?
Downey Jr. Shane Black was a director.
Oh,
that's why he.
I
came
do
out
like
to
that
do this
movie.
one. Yeah,
I do remember that one line where he's like, you know, if you look up the definition of stupid, and Val Kilmer's like, what
it's
is
a
it?
picture of Joel.
And he's like, it's the definition of what you are.
No, but yeah,
No,
you know, obviously, then the three of us were not that. It wasn't horrible. It wasn't like Prometheus WTF.
I mean, I did like how
No.
it went straight into action, though. I mean, like, there wasn't any origin anymore. It just goes straight into like Iron Man 3. Go.
But it lost the magic that we have loved so much about each of these individual like
when his
Marvel movies.
when his mansion blew up, I was like, this is going somewhere. This is going somewhere.
Yeah, and it didn't.
And then it
see that ending though. The way I see it is
ending or ending after the credits.
the ending.
Right.
The ending of the after credits. By the way, there is an after credits. I mean, like I said last week, you don't leave a Marvel movie without before the credits are over.
Oh yeah.
But it doesn't really add anything except haha, oh look, there's a Hulk, or not even a Hulk. What's his name? Bruce Banner is there.
Banner, yeah.
But the ending of the movie, where Tony Stark doesn't need the arc reactor in him anymore, that I think is, and also I don't know if you guys walked out. It was very
No
James
way.
Bond like. There was a title card at the end that says Tony Stark will return. Tony Stark will return, not Iron Man. What it is it's finally going to be exactly what Nick Fury said at the end of Iron Man 2. He's going to be on as a consultant only because, hello, who builds stuff for S.H.I.E.L.D.? Who built that helicarrier? Somebody else is going to be in that armor. This is a business decision for Disney because if Robert Downey Jr. does not want to come back for another Iron
I
Man,
see what you mean. Movie
really,
politics.
anybody can be in that armor. I mean, we got a hint of that in this one. It was Guy Pearce was in it. Don Cheadle was in it. Pepper was in it. RDJ, of course, was in it.
Yes, Pepper was in it.
So it's kind of getting this used to. Okay, get used to somebody else besides RDJ being in these armor. So that's what's going to happen because really now, like he says at
You
the
think
end,
it's more of a Disney?
anybody can be in. No, it's more of a business decision because anybody can be Iron Man because you don't need
Because then you
that
have
arc
options.
reactor in there.
Yeah,
But then,
That's how I saw the end.
yeah, that's very.
that's a very good point. Yeah,
It's very interpretive, but it's frustrating when I hear that RDJ is not going to be in the next movies. You know.
Yeah, I mean, during the interviews that we had on last week's show, Favreau said that. I mean, that the best effect you have in the whole movie is RDJ. That's why he was,
dude.
through the two of them, he was
Yeah.
always trying to find a way to get him out of the armor.
I felt like part 1 was the best, and then part 2 kind of like took on what worked in part 1, and then they kind of oversaturated it, and then part 3 was just like totally different.
One was the best because it was your first introduction to the not only Iron Man but the Marvel universe,
And you don't
universe.
and he's not using the prototype armor for the whole movie.
And this one, I gotta say, it didn't even feel like a Marvel movie. Really,
that's what I was saying.
They do
it
drop-
didn't have that magic.
Yeah.
They drop a lot of. I think they dropped one F-bomb and a P-bomb. I
I
don't know.
don't even hear that.
You didn't hear that? I remember. I do remember hearing like some language. I was like, really?
I think that was
They
your
said
friends next to you doing that.
We were.
Yeah.
We
What
did.
am I doing here?
We did sneak in beers. I need to go to the bathroom. Clank, 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 clank.
It's my cosplay. I came as armor.
I will say that my wallet slipped out of my pocket during the movie. I was like, I walked out of the theater and I was like, my wallet, and then I had to like run in and I found it. Woo!
How does that happen?
Because I don't like to sit in my wallet during a movie because I don't want to like it hurt.
Wow,
It's
Wow.
uncomfortable. That's just guy talk, but yes, Iron Man, dude. Tony Stark can relate.
So after the disappointment of this, I'm excited for the next movie.
Thor, right?
No.
Oh,
Next
Star
week,
Trek.
Next
finally,
week.
we go into
Next
darkness.
week. Yes.
Oh yes. I thought we were talking Marvel movies because I was about to say there should be a new
I
Hulk
have
movie.
my IMAX midnight release tickets. It's actually at 11, so they play them early sometimes in some theaters
Ooh.
here, which is awesome.
SoCal has like all these privileges. That,
I know, it's
NorCal
so
doesn't get.
amazing. So yeah, I will be going at the 11 o'clock showing on Wednesday.
Star Trek.
I've seen it.
Did you? Did you read it?
What?
I've seen it.
Why are you all quiet about it then, man?
Because we're not
movie?
supposed to talk about it.
Wow.
Where was my invite?
Yeah. Now I'm looking at you
It
too.
would have been
thinking
one
the
hell of
same
a
thing.
commute for you. Because Rachel's in Southern California. We're over here in San Francisco. See what you miss when you go over there?
You're just 8 hours away. She don't care.
I could have gotten on a plane.
She could have teleported here.
Snakes on a plane. Can't talk about it honestly, but I'll say that. I'll say also, I'm not the only one. There were other journalists, and there have been other sneak showings across the country. They're slowly trickling out. We're going to be allowed to talk about it next coming week. As a matter of fact, I may have some interviews with some people on from cast and crew from Star Trek Into Darkness. JJ.
Hint, hint.
And so you stay tuned for that next week. All I can say is it was good. It's worth the wait. It was worth, because remember it got moved. The date got moved. It was worth the wait. That's all I'll say. Next week, I won't do spoilers until the following week, but it is worth the wait. And well,
For
I can't
me,
talk about
like,
that because I can't talk Cumberbatch because then we are getting into spoiler territory.
Like with the Star Trek movies, like I feel like it because of JJ, you know, he's not really like doing like huge marketing for it. So for me, like it's like this sleeping dragon just waiting to be woken up. And when
He didn't do Pearl Harbor. That was somebody else.
I need to say it more. You got the Pearl Harbor poster, man. It's been like affecting my mind.
Look at that knock. Got a lot of people coming in. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to take a little break. Going to reset everything here. And when we come back, let's see who is at the Geek Speak Show studio door. I think we have 3 or 4 guests coming in. So let's, Joel, before I open the door, clean up that mess over there, will you?
I'm cleaning. Where's the Windex?
And then we'll see who we're going to talk to. Remind you one more time, you saw it literally with Joel. Eat24.com sponsoring us. Go there, download the Eat24 Hunger app if you are hungry. Order online. Keep listening to the show. Keep reading your free comics that you have. Keep getting ready, watching the trailers for Into Darkness, everything that you're doing. Keep throwing stuff at the wall because how could you do that to the Mandarin? But order online. Food is all done. It's right there for you. Whatever you want.
45 to 60 minutes. Delivery time.
When you order, put in GeekSpeak, GeekSpeak.
Oh yeah, promo code.
You get $3 off whatever you want, or free egg rolls if you really want.
And don't forget to invite your friends because that's what we do.
Let's take a break. Like I said, go clean your whatever you have over there, or your toys, we'll call them, and we'll see who's knocking at our door.
Oh yeah.
This conversation will continue in a moment. The Geek Speak Show.
Touchdown! That makes it 42-3. Are you even trying to beat me?
Not really. I could go for a cheese pizza and...
No, you don't. You want to go get a pizza just because you're losing.
Well, the pizza's not going to order itself, you know.
If only there was a way to order online and have it delivered.
Well, I'm glad you asked. Go to eat24.com, download their Hunger app to your tablet or phone, and order online, and have your food delivered right to your door.
Then I can get back to kicking your ass.
Dude, it's 42-3. Eat24.com can't help you there.
Oh.
Download the Eat24 Hunger app and use promo code GeekSpeak for free egg rolls or $3 off whatever you want. Eat24.com, because video games don't play themselves.
This is Mark Zickery, writer, producer, and director of Space Command, and you're listening to the Geek Speak Show.
And look who is at our door. It is Gavin Hignight. Gavin, welcome to the Geek Speak Show.
Hey guys, thanks for having me.
Hey.
Thanks for dropping by. So we were just talking about Iron Man, and you said that you had to admit you haven't actually
seen it yet.
Yeah, it's been kind of a busy couple months, and as much as I love Iron Man, I've not had a chance to get to the theater yet. So I will probably go later today or tomorrow. So
at least you'll get a better seat,
Well, I'll say this:
totally.
when you listen to the show, skip the intro because we went full on spoilers. So
I think it was like 17 minutes worth of spoilers.
Okay, noted.
Yeah, but
since you haven't seen that, what else are you looking forward to seeing? Because I know I've mentioned at the end that I have some stuff that I'm very excited about.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, Star Trek is at the top of my list, I think.
You don't say.
Yeah, super excited for that. I've kind of stopped watching trailers and tried to stop paying attention to media on it just because we're at like the boiling point where like all the people start slipping stuff out. But I love the first one, and I wasn't sure if I was going to or not, being like a lifelong Star Trek fan.
I think everyone was like that about the Star Trek movies.
Yeah.
A little bit apprehensive because it's Star Trek, dude. There's a huge following.
Yeah, and how do you step into like William Shatner and Leonard Nimoy's roles?
How do you step into William Shatner?
Exactly, you copied them, with flattery, yeah.
Was that flattery?
Although,
well, for Chris Pine, yes, but
okay.
Yeah,
I was gonna say we're still waiting for Chris Pine's shirt to come off though. Then he'll be the Shatner Kirk.
Finally, you mentioned something I want to talk about.
That's true. They didn't work that into the first film, did they?
Well, we'll see next week and what
the
happens.
Kirk fan service, yeah.
Yeah, definitely. One I'm really looking forward to, and the more I see, the more I get excited. Is definitely Man of Steel.
Yeah,
Dude.
Totally agree.
They don't
like they owe me money for the last one.
They don't market these movies that much because like they just want to keep it like on the low. But then all of a sudden that date just comes and Friday hits and that movie's in theaters and you're like, whoa, there's a huge line outside.
Yeah. What did you guys? I mean, like when that first trailer hit and there's that like that breaking the sound barrier shot and stuff. I mean, I got goosebumps. So pretty excited about that.
Yeah, you know what's actually doing it for me is what's his name? Commodus. What's the name?
Talking about
Russell Crowe.
I was about to be
Jor-El.
Phoenix.
That's Jor-El, yeah.
Just his voice, it just sounds like Jor-El.
Yeah, that's Maximus, by the way, dude.
Yeah. You made that mistake too. See, I got it from you. No, but yeah, that
one of us.
I can also see Kevin Costner as his dad on Smallville.
Yeah,
and it looks. I know it's a movie and everything, but it looks real. It looks a lot like The Dark Knight, where Christopher Nolan grounded it, but I hope it doesn't go as deep and as dark as Dark Knight.
I'm just tripping out that you got Russell Crowe and Kevin Costner in a movie together.
Yeah,
yeah.
I think one of the things that I wasn't expecting that I've seen some of the photos is like the design of like the Kryptonian armor and like the the bad guys and stuff. And I was actually really like the design, and I just would have never thought of that kind of look being in a Superman film. So that is
it's
an added.
Well,
Yeah,
yeah, you're right. It fits because they are aliens.
Totally.
Yeah. Aliens have different fashion, I guess.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, different technology, and I'm glad that they're kind of rolling with that. So yeah, definitely that one's on my list. And now that I'm on with you guys, I'm completely blanking on all the other summer movies. But I know there's other stuff I'm excited about.
Well, so much for that, because I was about to ask you, what else is coming out?
We're very intimidating, so...
Yeah, we're talking to Gavin Hignight. He's a writer. He writes The Freak Table, Cronky Road, Motor City. He wrote also for Nickelodeon's TMNT, Iron Man, Armored Adventures. He also does marketing for FearNet. FearNet, I'm still trying to get on my provider because that's the one channel I want.
Who are you with right now? Comcast, AT&T?
No.
I have to ask, who's your provider?
DirecTV, satellite.
This is where we do the sale. Let's do the sale.
Yeah, so I got to get a package that actually gives me that channel.
Shut up, Rachel.
Well, FearNet's actually not on Direct, but we are working hard to get on Direct.
That's why I can't get it.
Yeah, that's like, that's where we want to be.
Yeah. This could be industry politics. Oof.
Yeah, it's interesting, from what I've understood, like it's all bandwidth at this point. There's just so many channels and so many people vying for that space that even with channels that people really want, you really have to kind of to fight to get in there. So I mean, I've been on the road a lot, for FearNet this year, just talking to fans and a lot that get us, and it's great. And then the fans that don't, I mean, we're just putting out that message. It's like, call your provider and let them know, because as cliche as it sounds, I mean, that's the best thing you can do.
You keep hitting them up. They got to get FearNet.
Yeah, they do note those calls. So.
And I really like FearNet too, myself. I got Comcast, and you guys are on it.
Oh, fantastic! Yeah,
and I'm gonna hate this because I guess that I can't get it. But what's happening on FearNet this month?
Oh yeah, well, I hate to torture you. There's two things I think coming up immediately that I'm personally really excited about, and of course the first is Battle Royale.
Ooh.
We're the first network to broadcast.
That's
it's a
awesome.
broadcast premiere, and it's the extended version that has I think there's 4 more minutes that a lot of people haven't seen on all the bootlegs and stuff.
Really?
Yeah, and I don't know about you guys, but that's just still one of my favorite films of all time.
Yeah.
And even though I've seen it a million
I've told
times.
so many people
That's
about
like,
it. Yeah.
It's pretty much Hunger Games, but
When that came out, I was all like, oh my gosh, have you guys ever seen Battle Royale? It's like that. And everyone's like, what are you talking about? I'm like, oh my gosh, you have to see this film.
Totally.
The uniforms alone are worth it.
And I going into the Hunger Games, I was like, because I read the book and I was like, okay, well, this is valid. Hunger Games is valid on its own. She tells a different story, but it's still Battle Royale came first, and like that's just the way it is.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
That's just the way it is.
Yeah. But yeah, I love that. I actually just I don't know if you guys saw Mondo did a Battle Royale poster. I just got my hands on one and got it framed, so I'm going to be sitting at home watching Battle Royale on TV with my poster up and being a total fan.
Will you guys censor anything, or does FearNet censor stuff?
They cut for TV. There's cut for TV. So, but that's usually just for nudity and language. We don't really cut for violence. So in a film like Battle Royale, it's essentially untouched. But then what we do is if there are films that are the censoring for TV or the editing for TV, I'll say, we feel like it butchers it. We always have video on demand.
Yeah. I was about to say, because on Comcast, I watch it on demand, and a lot of things aren't censored. Because when I go to free movies and I see horror movies, it's always FearNet related.
Yeah, so that's kind of the we have on the regular channel it's edited for TV, and on the VOD it's uncut or untouched. So
on demand.
And then I was going to just say the other thing with FearNet that I'm pretty excited about is Reaper. We got hold of Reaper that the CW had put on and basically never given a chance. So season 2 never aired, and now FearNet has both seasons 1 and 2 that are premiering, I think, on June 4th.
Nice. You guys are reaping the benefits.
There it is.
I see what you did there.
And that's one of those shows that I never, because I'm a workaholic, so I don't watch a lot of just prime time. I'd kind of missed it. And now that I'm watching it for work purposes, I'm like, oh my God, this show's awesome. Like, how did I not, get into this? So I don't know have you guys ever seen Todd and the Book of Pure Evil?
No.
That's like the best shit. Like, it's a horror comedy show that started in Canada, and FearNet picked it up for the U.S., and I love it. And Reaper kind of reminds me of that kind of mentality. So both of those shows definitely highly recommend.
Rachel doesn't like scary stuff.
Yeah, that's not my thing. But what I do like, I saw that you did your first graphic novel, Motor City. Well, yes. I'm from the Motor City, so I want to hear about this.
Well, Motor City... Pretty much, I'm a big fan of like rockabilly and psychobilly movement and music, and I think I'm kind of like a greaser at heart. I love
hey,
little Fonz in me there, but
and some upright bass.
Exactly, slap the upright bass. But yeah, so Motor City it's kind of like all my favorite things combined into a graphic novel. It's like. Like kind of like old greaser gangs and fighting monsters. And when we made it, the goal was to try to do a hybrid of manga and American style comic. And be honest, I'd never do that again because the manga fans didn't like it because it was too American, and the American fans didn't like it because it was too.
Do you read it from right to left? Is it?
This was you would read American style, so it was but the art style was very informed by manga, and it was a black and white. It was a valiant effort for a first graphic novel. From we made a Rebel Sidekick, which is our imprint, and it did pretty well. The nice thing with comic books is if you get in with Diamond, you're pretty much in all the comic stores. So that was 2008, and it did pretty well. And essentially. Motor City is just about it's coming of age about the youngest member of this gang called the 133rd, and he finds out that and the whole idea in this world of Motor City is that stuff like demons and ghosts and ghouls are very commonplace. It's not something that's mystical. It's there, and it's something that people have to deal with. And so these human street gangs form to like protect their turf or their neighborhood from and there's a big play on like classic gang names. There would be like the ghouls or the shrieks and so in this case, if it's the ghouls, they're really ghouls, and it's just about the youngest member kind of coming of age and finding his place while defending the neighborhood and finding out that he's a part demon.
So is it kind of like Hellboy meets the Warriors, or?
I always when I was always pitching it around, I always said it's like The Outsiders, but with like supernatural twist. So and we had written actually 3 graphic novels. We had just put out the one, and putting stuff out independently is so hard that there's definitely plans. We'll definitely do Motor City Volume 2 and Volume 3, but it's a labor of love. I have to put them out when I can afford to put them out.
With passion.
Yeah, so, but I do, very fond of it. And after Motor City, we moved in, we were like, okay, well, printing and publishing is so hard, especially in this like world where publishing is dying. We're like, let's do something completely different next. So that's when we veered into the concrete world. And I wanted to do something, I was like, okay, I did my classic monster, black and white kind of throwback. I was like, I want to move forward. Let's do something totally different. So I have a cyberpunk story, and it was the same artist, Jetty and I, and we started a webcomic. We're like, well, this comic's very futuristic. It's cyber. I was like, why not let it live on the web? And, we did that, for financial reasons too, because it's just so tough.
Of course. Yeah,
it's so tough to print. And the other thing too is by going webcomic, it gave us the ability to have full color, without having to worry about print cost and stuff. So Concrete World had been going for about 2 years, and we didn't. It was a really rough schedule because we were getting out between the two of us 6 pages a month, without fail. And Jetty got busy and really started to kind of burn the candle at both ends, and eventually had to step away from Concrete World. And that's always tough when you've done 9 chapters with one artist, and then you have 3 chapters to go to finish a story arc. You're like, well, what are we going to do?
Yeah.
So I got together with a new team, and we've been working the last year to basically get the art style down to match what had previously come. And those new pages actually go up next week, which I'm really excited about, because we've basically been on hiatus for about a year, which is, you never want to do that. When you're lucky enough to get readers invested in a story you've created, and you don't have a marketing budget like Marvel or DC. So,
you don't want to drop it. Yeah.
You don't. Yeah. You feel an obligation to just keep it going, and which is what Jetty and I did. But I'm really excited. We're launching, and the other thing too is, and we didn't plan it this way, but when we went on hiatus, it was a huge cliffhanger. One of the characters may or may not be dead, and then people find that out next week. So I'm glad to get back into the world.
Do you think, have you guys talked about doing a print version at this point to kind of help get that, all your fan base back, or get more people into it now that you're just coming back in?
Well, the goal has always been to do a print edition. I'm one of those people, I like reading books. I like having my bookshelf in my library. What we had hoped to do is basically, because there's, it's one full story arc. It's essentially 12 chapters. And we basically were, let's get it finished on the web and then shop it around to other, like indie comic book publishers and distributors, because I'm not really interested in publishing and distributing again myself, like we did with Motor City. Because I like making stuff, I don't like selling stuff, and I really want to get it into the hands of the people who already have those.
You're like Iron Man. You're Tony Stark, dude.
I know. I just want to play. I know. I just want to sit in the armor and
It's mine, all mine, not yours. Mine. Yeah.
Yes. But yeah, so definitely we want to get it out. But I definitely, the first story arc needs to finish. It will be a complete story. There is a, what's interesting about Concrete World is it's a noir. And as you know, no one really ever gets out alive or fully intact in a noir.
Yeah.
And, when we wrote it, it is a very dark story. It's about people in the future who are addicted to technology. They're addicted to virtual reality devices. And, they're crashing and burning to keep their habits up. And so there was never really a sequel planned. And then somewhere in the last 2 years, I don't know if you guys read stuff like, I always read Popular Science and Popular Mechanics. That's totally inspires like the kind of stuff I write.
That's a good bathroom magazine, man. I will say that.
It totally is.
It makes you feel like you're so much smarter when you leave the bathroom.
Oh my God.
It's very true. You said it.
But you know the Boeing 737 can break the sound barrier? It's like, what?
Well, it's good for people to see having it, later on your house too. They're like, oh, this guy's informed and he likes science. But I really do mind that type of journalism for ideas. I love, future fiction, and I love, I kind of like love and I'm scared of future technology both, and that's kind of what I always write about.
Hey,
I was reading it, and I got this idea, and so we definitely have a sequel for Concrete World, which would be the second story arc. So my goal, hopefully, is to get a graphic novel version out of the first story arc while we're promoting the second one on the web.
So is it like a digital comic that you go on and release first and then print it?
Yeah, like Concrete World. It's just at www.theconcreteworld.com, and it's it's a free webcomic, and every month we upload 6 new pages, and then every 18 pages makes a chapter. And we've received, we have really good readership, and we have a really good interaction with our fans on the site and then on the Facebook fan page.
Is it the Concrete World for Facebook also?
Yeah, I think it is. It's just facebook.com/theconcreteworld.
Okay.
Got to do the plug, Got to do the plug.
Official site as well. But yeah, it very much is. I think, it's not. I think what I'm realizing too is what I explore in comic books is never like typical superhero type stuff. I grew up on stuff like Vertigo.
Vertigo.
Yeah, I was the right age for that stuff. I just absorbed it.
Yeah, we're talking to Gavin Hignight. He's a writer. He wrote Freak Table. He writes Concrete World, Motor City. He writes for Nickelodeon's TMNT. He wrote for Iron Man Armored Adventures. Out of all those things, is there anything that you don't do that you want to do that you can talk about?
Yeah, if I can, I will do it. Well, the Freak Table, I should mention, that's my first novel, and that came out in September. And it's not genre stuff, it's not superhero, it's not horror. It's just a coming of age book, basically about like what it's like to be in high school and weird before it was cool to be weird. So it's like pre-Nirvana, pre-internet. It's very much kind of informed by what myself and like the other kind of freaky kids that I grew up with.
I was going to say, so all of us, in other words.
Yeah, exactly.
Pretty much. Yeah. It's and what's interesting is because I wrote it, with my generation in mind, I wrote it with, like like I said, I think they called us, what did they call us back then? I think they called us postmodern because alternative hadn't really been made up yet. But it's like, pre-Nirvana is how I was telling people, like, oh, I get it. I was there and people were kicking my ass for wearing Doc Marten, stuff like that.
Hey, those are good shoes, man.
I know they're good, and they're good if you have to fight.
A little expensive though, I'll say that, but hey, they're worth it. So Doc Marten, if you're listening, hey, you got a free plug.
Yeah, there you go. Send us some boots, guys.
Hell yeah, dude.
Yeah, but so that's the Freak Table, and that's gone really well. And I think the one thing that's interesting that I've learned from writing that book is that it's still going on. That there's still, every generation has that group of kids that are just completely ostracized and don't fit in. And I think I was a little naive and felt like, oh well, this is the internet age, and you can find anybody who's like-minded on the internet, so it doesn't matter. You don't have to fit in with people in high school because, like, if you're into anime, you can find someone on the internet who's into anime.
Just go to a chat room. Remember chat rooms?
Yeah. But I think there's always still that need to be accepted by the people around you, right? Or to fit in somewhere.
Yeah, immediately around you. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And it's not like they don't stop attacking. I think that's one of the big revelations I had. Because I talk to a lot of kids and stuff who read the book and who are going through what I went through then now. And I'm like, oh, but wait, the internet's like a weapon that's used against them. It's horrible, So
people are ruthless on the internet, man.
Yeah, they really are, because like, you can be a bastard and not have to do it to somebody's face. So you step it up a notch. Mm-hmm. But yeah, so the Freak Table, I definitely, and we also just, we just worked with Amazon, and prices are down. The book, is now available for, I think I think it's $10 now from $14.99, and I'm excited about that because as a writer young in your career, you just want people to read your stuff. It's not about well, of course you want to break even and pay the rent, but that's why I do all kinds of work. And I'm so sorry, guys. I think there's like 4 ambulances driving by.
I figured you were in Motor City, so.
I'm actually calling you from a high-speed chase.
Awesome.
Hey, that driving and talking on the phone is pretty dangerous.
At Stuntman, there's many things.
But I am using my hands free, so
you can add Stuntman to your resume.
Yes.
Yeah, so he's Gavin Hignight. Gavin, thanks a lot for coming on. You're welcome back anytime. This was fun. We got to have you on for a whole show. We just got to make room because we're going to talk Firefly now.
Ooh. Oh, nice.
The Browncoats. Not the California Browncoats, but the actual Browncoats. Got your attention now, huh? So stay right there. We'll be right back and talk Browncoats.
This conversation will continue in a moment. The Geek Speak Show.
Touchdown! That makes it 42-3. Are you even trying to beat me?
Not really. I could go for a cheese pizza and...
No, you don't. You want to go get a pizza just because you're losing.
Well, the pizza's not going to order itself,
If only there was a way to order online and have it delivered.
Well, I'm glad you asked. Go to eat24.com, download their Hunger app to your tablet or phone, and order online. And have your food delivered right to your door.
Then I can get back to kicking your ass.
Dude, it's 42-3. Eat24.com can't help you there.
Oh.
Download the Eat24 Hunger app and use promo code GeekSpeak for free egg rolls or $3 off whatever you want. Eat24.com, because video games don't play themselves.
I'm Zach, and you're listening to the Geek Speak Show.
Hold on a second. Once more, with flavor. Yeah.
Oh, I'm Zach Whedon, and you're listening to the Geek Speak Show.
It's compelling! What's gonna happen to these kids? I agree.
I like this theme song.
Let's talk Whedon, not Zach, the big brother. Something that he did, Joel, we got to say this on air.
Let's do it.
Yes, we do, because seriously.
We were just talking to Gavin Hignight, and we said, Gavin, we don't want to be rude or anything, but we got to let you go because we got to talk Browncoats. And as we were downloading the number, Joel said, I'm almost afraid to ask you guys, but what's a brown coat? And I said, really? Let me throw something at you. Get off my show.
And then the sighs started coming, and he's like, guys. Rachel, are you mad at me? And I was like, oh my God.
She was frustrated.
But that's Joel. Then again, what do you expect from somebody who doesn't like to read?
We represent a wide spectrum of the geek
But
culture,
everybody else, of course, we know what brown coats are, who the brown coats are. On the line, we have Francis Hamada. He is the writer, producer, director of a Firefly fan film called Browncoats Independence War. Francis, welcome to the Geek Speak Show.
Happy to be here.
Glad to have you here. So let me have you explain this.
Explain to me,
guy over here.
I need to.
What is a brown coat?
Inform me.
A brown coat is a term that people coined for the resistance fighters or the breakaway planets of these War of Independence for a show that was mentioned in the series Firefly, the Joss Whedon television show that was canceled back in 2003.
Yeah, we were talking about it because, I was telling them the reason why I was unfamiliar with the show is because I was suspecting it's a Friday show. Because usually, Fridays are not for me.
The death slot.
Yeah, I'm always out. I'm out and about on Fridays. I'm sorry.
Yeah, so now you know what it is, and like I said, this is actually we're going to you, all of you guys out there. You guys love getting behind the Kickstarter projects, like Help Them Alive. You've been behind that big time. This is another Kickstarter project. It's crowdfunding, as we call it. Again, it's called Browncoats Independence War. The writer, producer, director is on with us, Francis. So Francis, how long has this film been in production?
It's been for a while. We actually started last summer. And we actually had originally budgeted the entire budget for the film, but as you know, most of these, if you're doing things for free, and as fan films, no one can get paid, and also for most films, indie films, nobody does get paid. It takes you a while to get stuff done. You have to shoot on every weekend, when people are free, and right. Things change. Locations fall out, so you have to get new ones, and a lot of times, what you planned is not necessarily what happens. So we were shooting last fall, and then we had to take a hiatus due to the rain. And then once the rain stopped, we realized we had to score new locations. and a bunch of other things kind of like stopped us from continuing the final push to finish.
Yeah, and
so we needed to. Yeah.
Browncoats Independence Wars. It is a fan film, but any of the stories are, without giving too much away, is it going to affect anything that we already know from the Firefly show? Any of the character storylines or anything like that?
Not really. It's a prequel. War of Independence between the Alliance and the Browncoats was shown in flashback in only 2 episodes of the show, the pilot and one of the unaired episodes, originally called The Message, in which they show the war between Mal's military unit and the Alliance forces. And this was only briefly touched on in the show, but it was actually a pivotal event in the history of the show because it kind of was it formed what the characters were, throughout the series. But it was never touched on because the series got canceled. So we thought, this is interesting territory. This is a prequel. You can pretty much do what you want as long as it stays true to the spirit and the ideas and the themes of the show. And it kind of like creates a story which leads you towards the universe that everybody knows already, which is the story of the show. The actual war took place 6 years before the events of the show, but it's referenced several times.
Right. Well, and can you tell us about what actors that you have for your film?
Like actors?
Yeah, like who do you have, or what's the characters that you're focusing on for this story?
Well, a lot of these are original characters, because we already know what happened to Mal's unit. It was actually shown in flashback in the first pilot show, what happened when they lost. And basically, this is the story of another unit. There are many stories of the Browncoats as they lost the war, and we always thought it was a fascinating thing to talk about. It's like, what happened to all these other units? What happened to all these other people? And a lot of these other characters, could be very, very interesting. And it also kind of showed you the kind of character of the people who wanted to be independent. They were very self-reliant, very independent, and had a code of honor and things like that. And I thought those themes were very interesting. And you only briefly got to saw it on the show. You got only a little taste of it on the show, And if we wanted to explore that more, I said there are plenty of characters that we can create, original characters that we can create that embody that spirit of independence that they kept on touching on when they referred back to the war.
Your writer, producer, and director, Francis Hamada's on with us for Browncoats Independence War. But talk about the rest of the behind-the-scenes crew besides yourself. Who else is behind the scenes with you?
Behind the scenes with me? I mean, Anthony Laris from Help I'm Alive. He's helping me with that, and co-producer.
That guy,
huh? Yeah, it's a very interesting man.
Nice stash on that guy.
And we actually have, we're getting a lot of freebie help from friends who work in the industry. Some of these guys can't say because they're not getting paid.
Right.
But we.
It's a project of love.
Project of love, yes. And one of the things that all indie films are always short of, we're always short of crew. And because people have to eat, and you got to catch who can do the job, but who are also available. So it's been kind of a skeleton crew for a while.
How many people do you have involved? I mean, since we can't name drop everyone because there's always so many. It's hard to remember.
A lot of people,
names.
a lot of people are pretty much new to it. A lot of them are starting out. The crew anywhere from 5 to 12 on a good day. Cool. And the cast can be anywhere from like 12 to 20, It's a war movie, so there are various scenes. It could be an individual scene of 2 people talking, and then a crowd scene of like 50, So
yeah, like I mentioned at the top, this is a fan film, so because it is a product that's owned by somebody else. Right. But our fans get behind a lot of Kickstarter projects. Tell them a little bit about what they get if they get behind the behind Browncoats. What are the perks? What are the rewards they get for backing you guys?
Well, like I said, being a fan film, you can't sell it. So
right.
You can't sell the DVD on Amazon. In fact, and when it gets done, they won't be able to even see it unless they go to a festival showing or a screening or something like that. However, like in the model of PBS, you get gifts when you give them a donation back. and past a certain level, they do get a copy of the DVD as a complimentary gift. It has to be free. It can't be sold, or else it's not. It violates the rules and stuff like that. So I realize I'm telling everybody this is your only chance to get a copy, because after the run is done, we can't legally make any more.
It's a good loophole, you know.
I'm sure people pirate it or something, but they get perks. Like I said, they're the only ones who get a complimentary copy of it for having backed the film, and there are other perks as the levels go up. Screen used props, signed posters, even a roll. They get a walk-on roll. They do a lot.
Are you guys gonna release it on YouTube or internet?
Excuse me?
You guys gonna release it on YouTube or Vimeo or?
No, actually, you can't. I don't know if you can legally release the entire thing on YouTube. You can definitely release clips and maybe a trailer, but that's kind of a gray area because, like I said,
because it is a property. I don't think you can legally.
Oh, I'm not that familiar with the copyright laws and all that.
Obviously,
kind of stuff. I get in trouble all the time actually.
Well, as you know, there are literally hundreds of Star Wars fan films.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
There are, yes.
Hundreds of Star Trek fan films. I mean, where are those seen? You know, and.
But I guess when you do a really good job and it's very high production, then that's when they start saying, "Hey, you're misrepresenting us" or something like that.
No, and seriously, Joel's not being Joel. You guys can go up our link section. The trailer's up there. It looks like something you would see at your local multiplex. It is very good. There's got great production values.
Very much.
You said you have some of it filmed, but as soon as the Kickstarter campaign is over, how soon do you hope to have the complete film ready to go to hit the convention circuit?
We have promised everybody summer 2013, and that's definitely a hittable goal.
What's the length of the film, by the way?
It's about 30 minutes.
Okay.
It's not a lot. It's not like a 10-minute short. We're cramming it in to finish it in 30 minutes.
Because I'm just thinking, if you got that huge production, 30 minutes, that's a lot of work, man. That's.
Oh, we spent weeks just shooting the first battle, and then the first battle is only 5 minutes.
Where do you guys film, by the way?
We film on friends' private property and things like that.
Oh.
We give a lot of sweetheart deals with some locations. Obviously, we have to give them insurance, comp and liability insurance to set foot on the property. But especially with what we're filming, and we've been having great support. Of course, like I said, some previous locations had to pull out, which surprised us. They have to pull out for family or personal reasons, and we understand that. But obviously, scrambling to find all the secondary locations for the second half of your shooting schedule, obviously threw a monkey wrench into our schedule.
Right.
So,
the woes of a Kickstarter independent film,
Yeah. Well, and you guys said that you've been working on it for over a year now, and then now we've got this date for what did you say, 2013 summer?
Coming in 2013.
Yeah. So which is coming up real soon. So has Joss acknowledged your film yet?
No, I don't know. I think they have. I don't know if we're necessarily on the radar. I mean, a lot of you never know, who notices and who's what. Sometimes, you don't want people to get the wrong impression. Obviously, people are there's always going to be supporters, and there's always going to be naysayers who say you can't do that. That's illegal. And I tried to make it clear. I said, we were very careful, and in fact,
it's not like you're bashing the show either. It's like you're doing it because you love the show.
Yeah, we do it well with the show, and it's the expression of it's an artistic expression of fan support, just like fan fiction.
Yes.
Definitely.
Well, and I feel like Joss is a guy that understands that too. So
you don't sue a cosplayer, because they're wearing your costume.
Well, I said all those handmade costumes of characters are not licensed, and they're wandering around the convention all day long.
Yeah, exactly.
People do their support of their franchises in very different ways.
Definitely.
Fan films are just one of that.
You don't got Stan Lee walking around Comic-Con sue him, Excelsior.
But Francis, also, and you touched on it a second ago, you know, being in the entertainment industry, you know that there's always going to be, like you said, the naysayers. And Michael Bay gets it all the time, so you're probably, you're going to get somewhere. Francis, you ruined my childhood. Francis, you ruined my show, or whatever. You must be ready for that. But again, this is a fan film. It's not for profit. They're not going to sell it. It's going to just be the around the festival, the festivals, the con circuits. It's a Kickstarter campaign going on right now as we speak. Go to our link section if you want to get behind it. I know all of you do because you love your Browncoats. So Francis Hamada, he's the writer, the producer, director. Browncoats Independence War is the name of the fan film. Just go on there and you can catch that trailer. We'll put it up on our Facebook so you guys can take a look at it if you haven't gone on the link section yet and get behind him. Francis, thanks a lot for coming on. You are welcome back anytime.
Well, thank you very much. Pleasure to be here.
So that is the show for today, for this week. We'll be back next week, Speak More Geek like we always do. But, Rachel, you ready? Because next week, the Geek Speak Show and Star Trek both go into darkness.
I'm so excited.
Yeah, we'll do reviews. Yeah, we're both going to see it earlier. Joel, I don't know if you're going to see it early or not.
I'll watch it Friday, cause like a regular person, but...
Oh, my God.
Regular person. There's nothing regular about Joel. So we're going to watch Star Trek Into Darkness over the weekend a few times, more than a few times. We'll definitely talk about it the week after. We'll go into spoilers. We're letting you know now we're going to go into spoilers. So if you're the few people... There was actually... we laughed, but and you guys can, again, go to our YouTube page. It's on the videos. There was one guy that was last in line at that time. He wasn't going to, on purpose, he purposely was not going to see Iron Man 3 until like this Friday because he wanted to avoid the crowds. And like, I didn't say anything on the interview, but I said, you know what, you're not really that big a fan then, are you?
You get sucked in, man.
Yeah,
it's like half the excitement is all of the people and all of the costumes and all the craziness.
Yeah, it's like going to a party. If no one's there, it's not fun.
Yes.
That's why, because most geeks are supposed to be in. I get it.
Yeah.
Never mind. So when we talk about Star Wars, that when was it when we had Chris Lee on? That's what I was saying is I don't really care who because we didn't know it was JJ at the time. I didn't care who the director was, who's going to be in it. I'm just glad that there's going to be, people in line. It won't be the coronet anymore. It's gone. But there's people in line dressed up. We're going to have lightsaber battles like we did during the prequels and the special editions even.
It's for the fans, man.
And then when the lights go down, we're just saying, hurry up. I don't care that Iron Man 7 is coming out. Hurry up with these trailers. Finally, we get those commercials that say, turn your phone off. Yes, we know. All right, let's go. Then it goes quiet.
It gives me chills thinking about it. Shh. Okay. We still have a while to wait.
Blue lights, long time ago in the galaxy far, far away. And everybody knows you stay quiet there. Soon as the theme starts,
everyone holds their breath.
Lightsabers light up, and that's what we're waiting for.
That's my favorite part.
I will say that when I watch trailers at a movie theater, like sometimes I totally forget what movie I'm watching because there's so many trailers these days. I'll be like, wait, I'm here for Iron Man 3? Oh, yeah, that's right.
Oh, my God.
No, but definitely next week, do come on back. We'll speak more geek. We'll talk to there's a few other things happening also besides Star Trek Into Darkness. I don't know why you would care, but there are some other geek things happening. We'll talk to that.
We didn't mention Big Wow.
Big Wow?
Big Wow.
That's, actually, that is happening also.
Big Wow, chicken
told you.
Wow.
We're going to be at Big Wow too. You and I will be there.
Yes, we will.
Actually, you know what? Tell you what. Why don't we do this? If you've seen Star Trek Into Darkness, by the time you go say hi to us at Big Wow, we'll let you talk about it, good, bad, or meh. We'll let you talk about. I'm sure that's not going to be
Joel
any
indifference. Yes.
But go ahead and talk about it. We'll warn everybody. Spoiler alert.
I like movies.
And don't forget, speaking of Big Wow, glad you reminded me. May 19th, Sunday, May 19th. Excelsior will be heard all over the halls of the San Jose Convention Center. Stan Lee will be there. We gave out some tickets at Flying Colors, and everybody was asking, "How do I get to meet Stan Lee?" You do have to sign up. Your ticket to Big Wow, even the ones that we gave you, doesn't get you into Stan Lee. It gets you into Big Wow, but you still have to sign up for Stan Lee's autograph session.
He's Stan Lee, of course. You have to wait in line, dude.
I mean, can you imagine if he just walked in? He did that a couple years ago at WonderCon. And you literally saw the whole floor just like a big wave go over to him. But that's happening May 18th and 19th.
Stanley doesn't come to the Bay Area that often, too.
No, I was going to say that's the only. So as far as I know, that's the only Bay Area appearance so far. Also, again, eat24.com. Go there, download the Hunger app. If you hear that noise, that's your stomach.
That's my stomach. Yep. Sorry, guys.
Stop doing what you're doing, which is reading the comics, watching videos, watching trailers, whatever it is you're
Only
doing.
for a minute.
Order now.
Yeah, download
45
the app.
minutes to 60 minutes.
Put in shawarma, pizza, Chinese, Italian, whatever you want. And don't forget Geek Speak, GEEK, You get free egg rolls or $3 off anything else you want. $3 off that shawarma if you want that.
Hey.
And it gets delivered right to your door. How easy is that? Like I said, even Joel can do it.
Yeah, y'all. If you want to order food, you don't even have to talk. You can just use your thumbs.
Yeah, so where you're listening to the show, just scroll down a little, click, go to eat24.com, download the app. Whatever you have Android, you have iPhone, you have the tablet, you have your computer. That's all you have.
There's so many things now.
There you go. So again, like I said, come on back next week.
That's right. Next week and all the stuff that's going to happen. And in the meantime, you guys, live long and prosper.
And we will speak more geek.
Yes.
That's never going to
Geek
happen
Speak Show
again.
will be back next week with a brand new episode. In the meantime, follow them on Twitter at Geek Speak Show 1. That's the number 1. Become a fan on Facebook. Subscribe on iTunes. Watch special event coverage and the Geek Speak video show on YouTube/Geek Speak Videos. And listen to past shows in the archive section on thegeekspeakshow.com. A big thank you to the Geek Speak Show's content providers, GeekTyrant.com, Collider.com, RamaScreen.com, and MightyVille.com. The Geek Speak Show.
Those of you who stuck around, we're going to borrow from the Marvel films. What did you guys really think of that little kid in Iron Man 3? Was he annoying or was he just, we're there?
I thought that was Ant-Man.